So, so this is a pulse race, obviously, and a small review from last time is we were still 10th with around 28 points. The leader, I think, was 58, so we kind of have a little mountain to climb. But anyways, the race we're going to be doing this time is Barcelona. So unlike a lot of the other ones, it's, well, I guess to say we're back to regular track racing. So no more walls, which is uh, a disadvantage or an advantage, however you would want to look at it. I'll say more of a disadvantage for me, but is what it is. So luckily we have a much wider track, so it would be easier to pass at the start compared to Monaco. So the strategy, in terms of overall strategy, it's relatively the same. Do our best in quality and then try and position as far high as we can. From what was it, turn 16 to 1, we have a really long string. So I'm hoping to push through as many people I can as the start of the race there. After that, we have a lot of high speed corners. Now, high speed corners, I'm not the best in them, especially these ones in Barcelona. I haven't done any practice for it yet. Gonna do a good amount before the race, but we have a lot of high speed corners. From 2 to 3, we have almost full out, and then you would have to slow down to around the speed here on 3 to 4, so 160. That's going to be tough. I could already tell you pushing at that speed is hard to position the car. And then past that, from 5 to 7, we go from low to high, then 6 to, and then 7 to 8 is another high. So it's really, really fast, which means if we want to maintain such a speed around these corners, we have to position the car properly so we can take the optimal line, which is mostly going to be swerving out and in and cutting the corners as much as I can. So I think it's going to be a tough one, to be honest. Now we have 2 DRS zones from 8 to 10, or 8 to 10, and then we have one, oh no, not 8 to 10, my bad, 9 to 10, and then we have one 16 to 1. So we have some good chances to pass or be passed in these zones. I figured out how to properly defend from the AI, so even if they have DRS, it's not too scary as long as I position my car on the inside and try and fight them around the straight. The big thing I'm nervous about is definitely 14 to 15 and 13 to 14. These parts, they scare me, man. A chicane like this, where you have to go from, let's say, around 150, this is the recommended, but whatever, to less than 100, with such a short amount of room, could be hard. Because I'm thinking from 12, you're going to go on the outside, or go from inside to out, and then after that, you would have to brake, or brake a little bit, and then go from out to in here, and then past that, you have to stick on this side, and then brake hard here, to then turn like that. So tricky. It's gonna be tricky, but I think we can do it. The main strategy is gonna try and beat the hug the insides as much as possible, and try to stick with them through the turns to hopefully make it to either the DRS zone on 16 and 1 or 9 and 10. The detection zones are a little ahead, so we gotta try and stick with them at least for these turns. If I can possibly do that, then we have a good chance of actually passing and fighting. That at least means 2. If I want to keep a position, I really have to push on the turns. Like, that's the big thing with Barcelona. So yeah, that's it for me, and wishing me the best. so not our best inning. He wasn't okay. So Barcelona was not like some of the other races where we had a couple mistakes. We definitely had a few problems that came with it, but also it's probably one of my cleanest races I've done so far. Like I'm disappointed, but at the same time I'm pretty proud of myself. So the plan to do quali did not turn out too well. It was probably the fastest quali I've ever done with a time of like 1 minute 28 seconds roughly. Unfortunately, the AIs were 1 minute 25, 1 minute 26, so we couldn't really break into it. I'm thinking of decreasing it one more level from 81 to 80, which hopefully will allow me to compete in quality, but it's really encouraging that I'm getting faster. That's the main thing. So for the mistakes we did there, um, the biggest thing was just with defendant, my bad. So I think I'm still not doing as well when it comes with defending and driving at really fast corners. The most dangerous part of Barcelona was the second DRS zone. It was a smaller straight, but because of that, they would, or it's long enough for them to pass me, right? So because of that, I had to defend, and I made a big mistake where I defended too aggressively. We broke too late, we locked up, and then we went into the gravel. Earlier, I did multiple good turns where I was able to still defend, but then break properly on the inside line to get it. So the racing lines changed drastically from quality. I cannot use the same lines I did before because my car's position would always be changing based on what my opponents were doing. So that was fun, but also really stressful. Past that, another small mistake we did was uh, when we were eighth, and then we were defending from two cars. Now, there were two cars beside me, and going through my mind, one of them made the lunge to go to take the inside. So on that turn, I defended, but unfortunately, we went too slow, or we slowed down too much, and we went too tight, which allowed the car on the right on the outer side to speed up past me. So that's another thing that takes into account when trying to defend like this. You have to maintain a solid speed while also maybe not putting too much on the line to try and defend from the opponent's opposition. But yeah, those are two big takeaways I found from it. Other than that, it was okay. So if I didn't do those two mess ups, probably would have gotten fifth, which it sucks, but is what it is. So right now we are still 10th with 30 points. So as you can see, it's pretty tight. All ahead of us, we have Donato Border with another 30, so we could bury him next time we pass. And then same with Itzberg, Zinnik, and then all these guys. Like, it's. The problem is the leaders pulling farther away, they're at 63. So it's not looking too good. I don't know if I'm gonna get a first. I realize now that I would have to be really lucky. After I think 6 races, I've really seen it. Like my best position was fourth in Imola, and I was kind of plagued with crashes and stuff like that. So we really have to take our opportunities that we can get them, and I gotta make sure I can defend as well as I can. I'm gonna try and take these lessons I've learned from this race into the next one, and try to make sure I can control the car while also defending at the same time. So as you can see, next one is Montreal. Long straights. We have multiple long straights throughout it, and there's not that many turns, which sounds good on paper, but knowing these guys and their ability to use my slipstream, it could be really dangerous. And I don't wanna pull Orlando, like he did this year. So, um, strategy is gonna somewhat change. Quality is gonna be tough no matter what. The difficulty decreased to 80% from 81 for them may make them a little easy, but or easier, but that may mean they go from like 126 to like 127 or 1 minute 27 seconds. So it's still gonna be tough, but try our best as usual. If anything here, it being straight means it could be easier to defend. Lower turns means there's a lower chance of me falling victim to mistakes I did in Barcelona, and then same thing. We could try and push as much as we can, and then try and keep up for them throughout it, and hopefully get a pass on the DRS zone. Hopefully, but I don't know. So yeah, Barcelona was cool. We made a few mistakes, and hopefully we could fix it for Montreal. Uh, Wish me luck, and yeah, that's it.